Okay, here we are. May 2022.
And we're doing it before the last day of the month.
We are doing it before the last day of the month. In fact, a whole week before the last day of the month, although it's almost serendipitous that this didn't get postponed with everything else that's going on. It's kind of a crazy time for everyone, I think. So, well, we have 3 haikus, and I'm excited to see what comes of them. So why don't we start?
Sounds good.
So this is our 25th recording. 25.
That's
And I wrote here, we started about 3 years ago, and I think that's right? About 3 years ago, maybe even more by now. So who would like to start? Let's see, we have Amy, Davin is a cheery one, and then we have me. So who, is there a logical way to start this time?
Davin, what are your thoughts? You always have good thoughts on the
He
order.
always is organized, is he not? Yes, he is.
I like starting with Amy's probably.
Okay. Is that okay with you,
Alright.
Amy?
That's fine. That's fine. So my haiku this month was maker, creator, divine potter, clay to mug, formless into form.
What a great picture. All I can think of is Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore, but that's
Man, I had the same thought as, thinking, yeah. So there you go.
I didn't at all, but
I've been singing Unchained Melody all morning in my head.
That-
But here's the other piece right here, which I love. And did you write this, Amy?
yes, this was a collect that
You
I
should
wrote.
read it. It's beautiful.
Potter, master of the clay, you push and you pull to ease a lump of clay into shape. May I be as clay under your creative hands to take the shape of my true self on the wheel in your hands.
And I love that you use the push and pull language, because I really felt like that was one of the threads of our haiku this month, was this pushing and the pulling of forces that are shaping us, So I love that prayer that you wrote.
I love your theme that you see.
Well, we all just love, don't we? We're just lovers.
All right, I'm happy to. Am I coming through okay?
Yes, you are. Take it away.
All right. The potter is one of my favorite images of God. It begins with the hands. The work of the potter is purposeful and strong, but necessarily gentle. The clay is malleable and strong, but easily misshapen. Touch for humans is essential to life and happiness, and hands are a primary vehicle for that salve. Imagining God's hands at work with such care, love, and thoughtful guidance eases anxiety and quiets the mind, especially in uncertain times. As a metaphor for a bungling human life, the clay represents the hope that there is a mug somewhere inside of me, and someday maybe I'll hold water. If things start going sideways, there's always a chance to start over, a chance for redemption. Amy's collect captures the spirit of the metaphor. We are pushed and pulled and shaped by forces beyond our control. The intention that God is that force and openness to that guidance might be one of our best tools for a good life. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Amy always has these beautiful images and beautiful stuff. Okay, so formless into form. What causes form out of formlessness? My friend Vince tells me that form is emptiness and emptiness is form, and I think there's much to be said for that view. It's a Buddhist thought, which, as I understand it, is talking about the interconnectedness of everything. Wooden tables consist of atoms, which in turn combine into molecules and thence to cells, and I don't know what else. We are made of stardust, and we have more changes in our living bodies right this moment than we could ever count ourselves. So before we even talk about a mug, what is clay made of and what made it? This haiku causes me to think about my concept of God. Does God make decisions? If so, with some kind of brain beyond our imagination. If there are decisions, that implies God can choose alternatives. On what basis, I wonder? And I'm guessing since God is eternal, that there would be infinite choices and infinite time to carry them out. I wonder what the end game is 15,000 trillion million years from now. So if God doesn't make choices, if things just happen, then why a mug? And will the mug say number one, Dad, I hope? Will it have a Lobo Louis on it or Joe Vandal, or does the divine potter spend much time on the little details? The metaphor of clay and potter and mug is concrete for people like me, humans that is, though. I like the idea that the divine potter might make something of the mud of me, can even remold and refine me, even now, later in life, give me hope and a cheery outlook. I hope that when the mug of Michael comes off the wheel, that most of the time it ends up not half empty, but half full, or better, overflowing.
The mug of Michael. It's great.
This mug right here.
That's so
That
funny.
was poetic, Michael. Thank you.
This is beautiful. All right, here's mine. I recently completed the 18th annotation of the Ignatian exercises. It's a journey through the life of Christ that was inspired by St. Ignatius of Loyola in the 1500s. It's characterized by noticing feelings, desires, and the use of imagination through reading the selection of scriptures, which have stood the test of time, 500 plus years to be exact. It's like stepping into a broad and deep stream with surprising turns. I wrote this haiku during week 4 of the exercises. It was my response to a passage in the Old Testament where the prophet Jeremiah went to the potter's house to watch the potter working at the wheel. The exercise invites and encourages readers to step into the scene, to see, touch, smell, and feel what is happening in the given passage, both what is stated in the text and that which probably happened too. Jeremiah was invited to the potter's house to see a creator and maker create and make. What did Jeremiah see, think, feel, and experience as he watched the potter form and reform vessels? Some pots were probably smashed, others were held up with a nod and set aside to dry, and others were adjusted, smoothed, pinched, and strategically mended. Everything formed. The pots, mugs, spoons, and pitchers came from a lump of clay. They were formless, guided into form. It's amazing and not amazing that these simple examples stand the test of time. What shaped and informed Jeremiah still inspires us today. There's more than one potter on my Instagram feed that I watch with wonder as she forms, shapes, carves, makes, and creates. It's timeless wisdom. What is shaping us? What are we creating? What formless in us is being brought into form?
Nice. Nice.
And I love that the Ignatian exercises, that was part of your spiritual direction curriculum.
Yes, yeah.
I would love to. I've been wanting to do that ever since I found out about them.
It's worth doing. It really is.
I am imagining so. It's a commitment though, right?
Yeah, I did it. It was a 10-week. I did, and the 18th is a shorter version. The 19th is like a 9-month.
Yeah. Good.
Wow.
Love to hear more about that sometime for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's next? Would you rather have me be next this time?
I'm happy to go next.
Okay, there we are.
And these are both images, sort of open sourced images from Canva. So nothing personal in these images, except that the one on the front here, I think, fits some of the energy of the haiku, and the one in the back is an urban sunrise, which is a little closer to my current existence. So that's why I chose that one.
Mm-hmm.
I loved them both. I thought the one in the front is so just happy.
Yeah, and charming is kind of,
Yes.
what I was going for, was this kind of the thing that's compelling, charming in a compelling kind of way.
It is.
All right. 6:15 sunrise. Earth moved by solstice's charm. Summer energy.
And then look at that summer energy right there.
Mm,
Isn't that pretty?
beautiful. Do you want to go, Michael?
Sure. The summer solstice this year will be June 15th or June 21st. In the meantime, the anticipation of longer, warmer, more verdant, lush days sits with us each day, even before sunrise, as the dawn turns shadows to the rich colors of spring. I like the anthropomorphism of an earth moved by the charm of solstice. Moved to tears, moved to action. Is the earth itself moved from one state to another? I don't know. For pagans, the summer solstice is known as Litha, and it's also pretty close each year to International Surfing Day, which is held annually on the third Saturday of June. I love early mornings. They're the best time of day, especially for solitary contemplation. And summer mornings at 6:15 a.m., say, sitting outside with a hot potter's clay mug of coffee, always, always reminds me that we are part of a great whole. We are part of a living universe of nano and macro form and formation amidst the timely, unimaginable formfulness of, well, I'm not well enough informed to discuss it. Come on, solstice, you charmer. How about another cup of coffee?
Nice.
You caught on to the the sort of the solstice, pulling
Charmer.
the day.
So great. All right.
Fun stuff.
So- I always enjoy listening to Rob Bell. He often talks about the animating energy. I love the idea of animating energy. What is the source? What propels ideas forward? What is the thing beneath the thing? Summer energy is indeed upon us. The days are longer and longer still. I live on the western side of the mountain time zone, which means our days are even longer. For the next couple of months, darkness will be a concept that we know exists, but requires special effort to experience. I can wake up in the light and go to sleep and in light, and the only experience of dark is in the middle of the night if I wake up. Summer energy is a powerful animating energy. It's an energy of growth and beauty. Morning comes early, the days wind down slowly. The animating energy of summer might indeed be solstice's charm. Well, that's a tongue twister. Solstice is from the Latin word sun, soul, and from sistere, to stand still. It's the day where the sun seems to stand still. With 6:15 sunrises, it's easy to think we have more to do and more time to do it. But maybe it's more time to stand still. Maybe the sun's invitation and charm is not to fill our days, but to savor our days, to stand still in the sun.
It sounds like a good, smaller and deeper message there.
I know. I might use part of it.
I love the word savor. It just keeps coming up, savor, in various things. And when I hear that word, I just love that word, savor.
It's a good word.
And solstices, that's the extra syllable that I needed to get in there for the damn poem.
You didn't use solstice? Well, I guess it's possessive, isn't it? Okay.
My turn.
Yes.
I like to wake early to enjoy the quiet morning hours. Like so many others, I've found this time essential for generating enthusiasm and momentum for my day. Early morning darkness has its own charm, but also feels a bit like a blanket. There's some warmth there, but it slows things. You can't see, so you move with caution. Bright lights are harsh on early morning eyes, so candlelight or oil lamps work better. It's more meditative. With the spring time change, depending on your geographic location, I think Indiana doesn't do a time change, and the burgeoning axial tilt of the earth, morning hours become lighter and lighter, earlier and earlier. As first light creeps closer to 5:30 a.m. and the actual sunrise hits the 6:15 mark, the sun's energy feels inescapable, filling these hours with less prayer and more exercise for me. The charm of the summer solstice compels movement. Non-human creatures must feel it too. Bird behavior changes, and beautiful flower blossoms bow to the giant orb. The energy of summer changes everything. Even our music and our movie tastes change. And it all begins with a 6:15 sunrise. I've often thought how strange it is that we have summer movies, and there is a different sound to, summer songs, the music you listen to with the top down, something like that.
Beach Boys.
Yes.
Summer days drifting away.
I love it.
We're all dating ourselves here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like the mountains are calling us.
Yes.
They are. They are. They are. They are. Lo and behold. So here's these two pictures. Obviously, I took them both. So mountains are calling. Spring trails with wildflowers rife. Let's plunge into them.
I think that's my neighborhood, right? In this picture.
Is it your neighborhood? Do you live over in that Hidden Springs area?
Yeah, yeah.
That's you. That's your house there on the left.
Right. That's funny.
You first, Amy.
All right. Oh, here we go. All right. The yellow of arrowroot balsam, the purple of flax on the hills. The hills are alive with wildflowers. The idea of wildflowers, though, strikes me as interesting. Wildflowers are plants that grow without human cultivation or intervention. Just the definition assumes human mastery and dominion over nature. Arrowroot balsam was a medicinal and food source for Native Americans. The leaves can be boiled, steamed, or eaten raw. The roots can be ground into tea to treat cough and also to treat burns and bruises. The seeds are like sunflower seeds that can be eaten as well. According to online sources, this plant doesn't take well to being transplanted, i.e. cultivated by humans. Arrowroot balsam will grow where it will grow, maybe in a world that is cultivated, dominated, organized, and maintained with such rigor. Wildflowers remind us to look up, out, and around, to be humbled by nature's wisdom. Let's plunge into what the wildflowers might teach. What lessons might they be trying to call out?
So they have charms.
Yeah, charms.
Yeah. Last weekend, my friend Vince and I hiked up 5 Mile, and the arrowroot was everywhere. It was just beautiful. So
'tis the season.
'Tis, and it's a short season for those guys.
Yeah, very cool. All right, my memories of Oregon, and they are almost all wonderful memories. They start with Mount Hood, and also my inability to pump my own gas. I don't know if that's still the law in Oregon, but when I was driving through it. Driving from the east to the west along the Columbia River, that mountain, Mount Hood, is on your horizon for hours, it seems. For the uninitiated, as I was the first time I made the drive, you almost can't believe what you're seeing. Every mile reveals more detail on the amazing horizon. And I'm guessing that the good folks at Mount Angel Abbey have this view daily, as Michael's amazing photo reveals. The mountains, like the wildflowers of spring and the early morning sunrise, are reaching out, begging for us to respond. Symbols that God is always there, anxiously waiting for us to take the shape she or he intends for us. As Pope John Paul II famously said, "Be not afraid." Michael adds, "Take the plunge."
Thank you. Thank you
love it.
both. So any of these photos that ever I take, I just have a little iPhone SE. I don't have a fancy phone or anything like that. And so when I see a picture like this one right here, I always wish I have better definition, just because that picture, that view, I'm not sure any camera could have actually captured it, but anyway.
Beautiful.
So there's nothing special about this haiku. When I wrote it, I was simply ecstatic about getting out into spring. I took both pictures, the mountain peeking through the buildings one early morning after 5:20 a.m. vigils at the Mount Angel Abbey in Seminary in Oregon, where I was spending part of a week at an annual men's retreat I go to regularly. The other was just before my friend Vince and I got soaked running back to my car amidst rolling thunder and lightning, and me with a metal trekking pole in my hand. Flowers of all colors were beginning to bloom, just barely, but there was the anticipation of many more. The weather was almost short sleeve weather on some days, or parts of some days. Mother Nature brightened my spirit, and I knew even more beautiful hiking and lazing and wandering were ahead. Let's plunge indeed.
So good.
Nice work, friends.
Yes, very nice. Before we get out of here, I want to remind any of our observers that happen to observe or know people who observe or who have our book, who have read our book. We would love to have your Amazon reviews, or for you to share our book. Let me just put it up here just while I have it right here. With anyone else. We've had some really good feedback about this book. It's simple and it's inexpensive, and I hate to be self-serving, but I think it would actually be serving others if you were to share it with others. So
Reviews just help other people find it.
reviews just help other people find it. Yeah. Anything else for the good of the cause?
Thank you both very much.
Thank you all. We'll be back here next week.
Next month.
Next month.